So I'm on the other side of the Christmas solstice portal and just sitting in kind of stillness prior to the new year and just taking in kind of the course of the year, just feeling everything that's gone on this year, which hadn't been a ton, like more internal than external for myself. I know for a lot of people it's been a lot of external things going on, and there has been a lot of external in the world for sure happening this year, just kind of a hot mess, it feels like. That's continuing, and I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's just going to continue to get more crazy. And I think this is one of the reasons why I was feeling kind of a vibration after I went on my little trip last weekend and came back and started doing some teaching, and I just decided I needed some break. I needed to go ahead and take some time off, and so I just canceled my classes for the week and just rested, stayed off of social media, and I could still feel myself, even in that state, still a lot of vibration. I feel like after about 4 days of no teaching, no social media, I'm kind of feeling a bit more calm internally. Anyway, it's always calm where I am, obviously here. I mean, there's nothing much going on in my external life right now, but it's always an internal thing that feels like that's happening. And by just taking some space off of my job and social media and everything else, but yet I could still feel the mind reeling, something in me, these internal pressure points of trying to figure things out were still lingering after the fact. And so then yesterday I decided I'm taking another week off of work, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do that because I'm just, I'm independent online English teacher, so I'm very, very blessed to have that. And so it was kind of something in me kind of concerned about money and all that, and I just had to let go. There's nothing in me that had any gas to do another week, and I felt guided just to continue on with this, just taking a breather and just allowing myself to feel myself and just enjoy the peace and quiet and do things that felt interesting to me, not have to show up to anything, which has been such a huge thing. Just over the last couple of days, especially yesterday, I could feel myself kind of reviewing my life's journey up until this point and kind of going meta to it and really feeling like how much of my internal world was a giant kind of pressure cooker. And there was a lot of drama going on internally, and then I recognized how much that internal drama got spewed out by choices that I made that created an external drama. And so that created this sort of like feedback loop, where the inner drama is creating the outer drama creates more inner drama, and then just feeds in. It's just a feedback loop. And it's like, wow, like how long that whole dynamic has gone on inside of me. And to really just sit back and do absolutely nothing. It's not like sometimes when I've taken time off, it's like I always feel like I've got to go do something, whether it's go on a long hike, which is fantastic. That's what I want to do and need to do. I go do it. But there's almost this feeling I need to go do something, make something, produce something, figure something out, study something, investigate something, whatever that is, rather than just being in a state of being and allowing just isness and beingness to arise. Allow that desire to go out to arise. Like coming out here and filming this just arose for me. It felt like what I wanted to do, not what I felt like I had to do. And so, in all of that, that this whole thing around this inner drama has crowded out and has numbed out and has covered over what I would call my inner Dharma, from drama to Dharma. And that Dharma for me, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I'm just kind of learning about all this. I've heard the word many times over the years. I've read about it, and just really taking it in for myself, as an inner truth, as a living truth. What is my inner truth? What is my inner voice? What is my inner vision? Kind of what part do I play, kind of thing. And it's always been something I felt like I had to figure out or be told what it is, rather than being in sort of this silent equanimity, this silent peace, and allowing that inner Dharma, that voice, to come out and just slowly kind of whisper to me as to what is my Dharma in this moment? Like, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I am in this moment? What am I meant to be feeling or doing or not doing in this particular moment? And allowing that Dharma and voice to arise one step, one day at a time. And I could only have done that by just taking space away from this ongoing showing up to something. I've been able to fortunately save up some money over the past year. That's allowing me to feel comfortable with doing this, so that's been a blessing. I know for many people that's really challenging. It's just not possible. And there's something in me that felt like I couldn't do it or I shouldn't do it. And yet the guidance in me was just like, just do it. You just got to do it. And even after a few days of rumbles, I'm finally feeling like I understand now why it's been necessary and why I've need another week, just to allow the fullness of it to set in, to really connect with that voice and that feeling more and more, so that as I go back into another round of this, I can start to really decide what is it that I really want to do in any particular moment. And there may even be a decision to even take the rest of January off. I don't know, that's possible. So allowing that to be also a possibility in the space, or just going back with a different perspective, a new vitality, a new restfulness, different heart space around it, that's also there too. And so I think by taking time for ourselves, like prolonged periods of time, to get away from all the chatter, other people sometimes, and other people can be a gift to us, and other times they can be not so much. It depends on the relationship to it. Same thing with social media, our daily routine. Can we just be in sort of this no need to have to do something, but just be in silent tranquility, and breathe through every single moment to see what's wanting to arise and what's true for us in any given moment. We may find that we've been doing a lot of things recently or in our whole lives that we've been really responding to other things, other people, other ideas, other concepts, models of seeing the world. I don't know, there's just so many things that get layered one on top of the other in our fields and in our consciousness that it's hard to know exactly what's ours and what's something else. And I've just recognized over this past week how important this kind of quiet time has been, and how congested inside of my mind that it's been. And so it seems a bit quieter 4 days later, and I'm glad to have this next week to really let that settle in and see what arises from that. And then just take each day as it comes, I have all these ideas of future possibilities of, I had plans and they're still on the table to leave here, to go back to the United States. But again, that's just one idea. It's one possible timeline. And I think part of me was using that as an absolute deadline. And so creating a lot of pressure on how do I make that happen? What kind of finances do I need to make that happen? And then all that creates this pressure. And then in that pressure, I feel like how much in my life that has been true in me, like a giant pressure cooker inside of me most of my life. And just allowing to release that pressure just through creative works, through physical something, cooking, even sitting down and watching a movie, writing, meditating, listening to music, whatever comes up in a particular moment that feels right and good in that moment, I think all leads to something bigger. It's just a stair step rather than trying to figure out like the golden tablets at the top of the mountain right away. It's a journey. It's one step at a time. And I think along the way, kind of like a video game, we're bloop, 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 picking up these little nuggets of wisdom and need and inspiration and clarity and challenge and all that along the way. So yeah, that's been kind of my week and what will happen for me in the following week. just to breathe and listen and be in peace, creativity, and seeing where that inner Dharma wants to come up and how it lands in me and what it wants to do. And this is one piece of that. So, and I think it stems from what I talked about last week around abundance, and I think it's my wanting to take in that I am living in abundance. So once I start to feel that more and really let that in, I think that gave me more permission to let go of my income for a couple of weeks to allow this to happen. Like lean into the abundance of the universe, that it's there to guide us in some way, one form or other, that it's around, it's there, and it just gives us the trust and the faith and the courage to make the steps that part of us may feel a little bit hesitant about or anxious about. And then once we do that, there's going to be that kind of turbulent rumble, and then over time I think it settles in, and then you start to feel a little bit different, a little bit more sane, a little bit more grounded, and you get like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. So I just felt like it was important to share that for anyone else that feels that need, like, man, I need a break. I got to take a break from all of this. And so if there's any way possible for that, regardless of how long it is, even if it's daily breaks, personal time, just to clear your head, clear your space, just to listen to that inner voice that just belongs to you and nobody else. It feels like really important for all of us to tap into that. So I will check in again some point this week or at the end of the week, just to digest anything else that comes up for me around all of this, and hope that your New Year's is wonderful and meaningful, or quiet or exciting, whatever it's meant to be for you, how it's meant to arise for you, as long as it's what you really want. I think that's really the main thing. And then just to digest what it's been for you this past year and what you want going forward. And so maybe that might be more of what I'll feel into and talk about next week for myself personally. So thanks again for checking this out, and I wish you all a very happy New Year. All right, see you next week.